welcome to the show, The Total You. And I am your hostess, Evangelist Faris Wallace. And we're under the direction of our Bishop Joel T. Wallace and Abundant Faith Cathedral Churches. Amen. So I thank you for tuning in. And I have a special guest. A special guest. So please receive our guest. We're going to have you introduce yourself today.
My name is Shatira Crawford.
Okay. And Shatira Crawford, I chose her. Why? Because she's a recent graduate of the nursing program. Okay. And that's something that's very close to my heart because I was a nurse for over 40 some years. And I was in the medical field for more than 50 years. And so I'm going to ask Shatira. Is that how you say it?
Shatira. Shatira.
Shatira.
Yes.
Help me. I thought my name was that. But Shatira.
Yes.
Okay. Shatira, what made you decide to go into the nursing field?
Well, I like helping people.
Okay.
I was always good in science and
Okay.
math. And at first I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
So I was like, let me get me some experience working in a hospital, see if I actually like it.
Okay.
And so I kind of changed my major to nursing because I could see that you could do a lot with nursing.
Okay.
It's, you can go anywhere. You can move up. You can travel.
Okay.
You can work in a doctor's office.
Okay.
You can do home care.
Okay.
So that's why I decided to change it to nursing.
Okay.
So, I've always just loved helping people.
Okay. I'm going to ask, because you mentioned this, you were in school already, and then you decided to change your major? Is that how it went?
Actually, yeah, because I wanted to be a nurse practitioner, or not a nurse practitioner, but a physician assistant.
Okay.
And so in order to apply and get accepted, you have to have so many hours working in the field.
Okay.
So that's when I decided to change my major. I was basically out of school.
Okay.
So I just needed that experience so I could put it on my application.
Okay. So I'm going to ask, what school did you decide on?
As far as the nursing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I went to Apcot Institute for Nursing.
Okay.
I applied for Wayne State. I went maybe a year at Wayne State.
Okay.
So it didn't work out there because I was working full time, taking classes. So it was an accelerated program.
Okay.
So I took like maybe a year off. And so I did a little bit of research. Apcot Institute was close to home.
Okay.
And the hours were suffice for me. So I decided to go there.
Okay, exactly. What is Epcot? Because this is a new one for me. I was thinking maybe one of the major colleges, but you didn't go with that one.
Yeah, because the LPN program, it's like you get certified. So, I know you can go to community colleges too, but they have different programs there. Central processing, they have, I guess they have surgical tech. So they have different programs that you can take, right, to get certified.
Real quick, so how long was this program for?
It was a year.
It was for a year?
Yes.
Okay, and then I'm going to get this real good. Were they really intense as far as clinicals were concerned?
Definitely. So basically, we're in the morning time. So you had to make sure you were up early.
Okay.
So 6, 7 hours. So maybe 7 to 3 or something like that.
Okay.
So very intense.
Was it on certain days, or was it just twice a week, 3 times a week?
It depends on what subject you're taking at that time. So like med-surg, you probably go 2 days out the week.
Okay.
Fundamentals, maybe 1 day. So it depends on what subject you have for that semester.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask the question. Okay. You said that you were going for the nursing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you had once decided before this that you wanted to be a physician's assistant.
Yes.
Now what? Have you changed your mind?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. Me working in a hospital, I seen what physician assistants do.
Okay.
And it's just, you're just there.
Okay.
Like you work in a hospital or, it's just not, you don't do as much.
Okay.
I wanted to travel. I wanted to work in all aspects of nursing. I wanted to work with the old, the young, the poor, the rich, So you could just do more. So no, I don't regret it at all.
Okay, so are you going to be applying for the physician's assistant program?
Maybe nurse practitioner.
Nurse practitioner.
Yeah, that's the same as a physician assistant.
Uh-oh, wait. Stop, hold it. Okay, what's the difference now? So you open the door.
Well, nurse practitioner, of course, still you can travel, you can go anywhere, you can work,
Okay.
you can do more
Okay.
still. But physician assistants, no, you're just there.
Okay, so what's the schooling requirement for nurse's assistant against physician's assistant?
For nurse practitioner, well, you have to first. I have to become an RN. I'm just the LPN right now, so I have to go back to school to become a registered nurse.
Okay.
And then maybe a year or two more for a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
So one of my mentors was a nurse practitioner, and she said she loved it. She took a couple of years off after she became an RN, and she went at her own pace.
Okay.
And she finally became one, and she loved it. She just said she could do more with that, and the hours were great, and it was just something more for her to do and to gain more experience.
And essentially, a nurse practitioner can substitute for a doctor in an office or anything like that. And they do write orders. Only thing is they have to be covered by that physician. Whereas even with the physician's assistant, they can work on their own and they can do their own office. And they're usually referred to as doctors.
Right. Yeah.
So most people don't realize they may be having a physician's assistant who's actually taking care of them.
Right.
Because we're referring to them as doctors, so amen. So it's a lot of, and I'm going to tell you this, physician's assistants make a lot of money.
They do.
They do. They do. Now, you made mention about nurses being very diverse. So nursing, like you said, we were talking outside, you were saying something about you being able to go into all these different fields. Is there any field that you're interested in?
Not one particular field, but right now, I'm working with the elderly. Okay. So that's something I really haven't done yet. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. When you made mention of that, it was like when I went into the field, it was like most of the nurses were going to anesthesiology. They were becoming an anesthetist, and they were fine with that. And then physician's assistants opened up, and then nurse practitioners. So it has progressed since I first started. So a lot of options are more available to the nurses now than it was before.
Right.
Okay. As an LPN, you can become overcharge of a full-fledged facility.
Yes, I am aware.
Oh. See?
Yes.
And a lot of people don't realize that you can become the manager of a nursing home, per se.
Yes. So it's totally different if you work in a hospital as an LPN.
Right.
You're going to be under the RN.
Right.
You're going to be under the physician.
Right.
So yeah, you have more you have more accountability working in a nursing home.
You do. That accountability, that autonomy is really something a lot of people enjoy with being in the medical field. They really do have a lot of choices that they can do. Right. Okay. Going back to this, starting school. Did you apply for any scholarships or financial fundings when you were going through?
Yes, I had. I was approved for financial aid, and through APCOT, they offered scholarships.
Okay.
And I went through Michigan Works.
Okay.
They pretty much give you funds like towards the end of your program.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I had funding.
Okay. And see, a lot of people don't know that they can go through Michigan Works, like you said, to get funding to go through school. Or that when they're in school, that they have scholarship fundings that they're offering their students also.
Right.
A lot of people think, the tuition is $23,000 and I can't do that. I can't afford that because I got to work.
Right.
And they don't realize that a lot of the people want nurses so bad that they'll, offer you something. Did they offer you placements after you graduated?
Oh, yes. Okay. So after you towards the end.
Okay.
They have human resources. They help you out. You come in, you fill out a little sheet to help them know like what places you want to work at, and
Okay.
if it's close to home,
Okay.
how far you want to go.
Okay.
So like, yeah, they do help out with that.
They do. Do they guarantee this, or they just?
Yeah, they guarantee it.
Okay.
Yes.
Because a lot of people say they guarantee it, but they don't really give you.
Oh no, they guarantee it.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you are now in the process of going through all these interviews.
Yes.
So have you found it very difficult so far?
Not at all. I went to an interview this past week, and I thought the interview was going to be much longer.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess they need nurses right away. So they offered me the position right then and there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask, what kind of questions are they asking you on these interviews?
Basically, what kind of experience do you have?
Okay.
What school? They asked me, did I like the school that I went to?
Okay.
And I mean, to me, it was short.
Okay.
I was expecting more.
Okay.
But I'm happy with that.
Okay. See, a lot of us don't really like interviews.
Right. Yes.
Because we don't understand what they're trying to get from us.
Right.
That we're trying to satisfy them, and still we don't know what they're, okay, they're asking you these weird questions. Okay.
Right.
So they didn't ask you any weird questions.
They didn't ask me any weird questions. I was expecting, what kind of stressful situations have you got into?
Right.
So I was going over all that. ABCOT prepared us. We did like a mock interview.
Okay.
So I did research on the company before I went.
Okay.
And so they didn't ask me anything
related to the company.
Yeah, related to the company. So I'm doing all my research, making sure I'm prepared.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm glad I was prepared just in case they did ask me those questions.
Now, did they ask you at the end of your interview, do you have any questions for us?
You know what? They did not. Okay. So I'm thinking, okay, they just needed me just right. Because I was I was going to ask, like, yeah, what about this? What about the pay? Is it 12-hour shifts? Is it 8-hour shifts? Things like that. So they didn't ask me that either.
Nothing. Wow.
Yeah, I was surprised.
This is very new because when I started, they needed nurses, but right now they need nurses even more. And it's something because a lot of nurses, they just started they hadn't started. They were thinking about the stress load of the nurses, and now it's even more so.
Yes.
So do you think you can handle this stress?
I think I can handle the stress.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I went through school for a year, and it's stressful studying. So yeah, I can handle the stress.
Okay. Can you handle? Okay. The reason why I'm asking is this: they always said that you said something about being a doctor at first. Well, they always asked because I wanted to be a doctor too. And one of the things they said was, can you handle 36 hours? And I'm like, yeah, I can handle 36 hours. And then it's like, why are you asking me this? Because are you going to put me on a 36-hour shift? And for the most part, most doctors in training do.
Right.
So I'm asking you, when they say that you can do all this stress, you think your schooling prepared you for this?
Well, in a way. I had experience already working in the hospital.
Okay.
So we work 12-hour shifts. So I'm used to it.
Okay.
So, but as far as the school preparing you, I think somewhat.
Okay.
Because I feel you spend so many hours studying.
Okay.
Or, some people work. So you work, you study, you have families. So those are a lot of hours. Okay. You're managing that. Okay. Right? You're completing your assignments. You completed the program. So, yes, I think they prepare you.
They prepare you for that.
Yes.
And to be a multitasker and able to take care of all the different roles and hats that you have on, plus graduating. Okay. Now, this thing, preparing you, did they also prepare you for the certification that you had to require?
Yes. I just took the NCLEX exam May 4th.
Okay, wait. Tell us what NCLEX are.
Well, the NCLEX is basically an exam for you to become licensed to be a nurse.
Nursing license exam.
Yes, that's the nursing license exam. Yes.
Okay. So how long was it, and how did they prepare you?
Well, the exam is 5 hours.
Oh,
So yeah. So um I- they prepared me.
Okay.
So actually it's new. So it's like it's next gen now. So
Okay.
it's the exam is a little bit different. So they give you like a little multiple choice. They give you more critical thinking.
Okay.
So uh, it was hard.
Okay.
It was hard, but my exam cut off at 82. You usually get maybe 145, maybe 160. So they say that's a good sign when it cuts off
Okay.
at 82.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
When you say it cuts off, is that what, computer generated
It's
questions?
computer generated, so I guess it was 95% probability that I pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And so it shuts off, and I can give you any more questions.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm old school. It was like we went into that room and we sat there and we were literally writing out the answers for our questions.
Yes.
So it's become a really computerized type classing.
Right.
Okay, so you had these computerized questions, and you didn't really know how many questions you were going to be able to, to ask.
To answer, right. Yeah, it seemed like when I answered one question, like it was easy at first, like, okay, I know this, and then it started giving me harder questions.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. So it just kept giving me little, I guess to give you scenarios.
Okay.
So like study, you have to make sure you understand that they give you like, I guess the patient comes in, they give you little analysis you have to go through, pinpoint, they came in at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
They had this such and such an illness. So what do you give them?
Okay.
What are you diagnosing them with and stuff like that. So it got to a point where you have to use your critical thinking skills to know what's wrong with the patient.
Okay.
And if you had to even call the doctor, if this is important, to report it to the doctor.
Okay.
So it was, you really had to think.
Okay.
And my thing is being in front of the computer taking a test, like this is my life, this is do or die. Either I'm going to be a nurse or I'm not going to be a nurse. I have to take it over, you know. So all those nerves, comes into effect. But I must have done my best to cut off at 82.
Okay, so that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes.
And by the way, she did pass.
Yes,
Amen.
I did.
Okay, I'm going to ask, we've gone through the financial aiding part. We've gone through the testings to be qualified. We've gone through the jobs, and you know how to be accredited. You went to the schools that you chose that was right for you.
Right.
And there are so many. There was like the Henry Ford Hospital offers classes, Davenport offers classes, Wayne State, like you said, and I went to Wayne State. Mm-hmm. And I'm like you, it's like, this is not my forte. Yeah. Sorry, I went for a whole year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not it. And I'm like, I went from, but not like you. I said, okay, if I'm going to get paid for this, I'm not going to be an LPN. I'm like, I'm going for the upper end. I'm going for the RN.
Right.
So I went back and became an RN. And like you were talking about being a physician's assistant, I'm like, okay, let's go up a little higher. So it's like you have all these different choices. Mm-hmm. And to start out, I'm going to ask you about the finances afterwards. Do you think it's worth it? Financially?
I think they charge too much, but I do. These different schools, I think it's just about money.
Okay.
To me, I think it shouldn't cost that much.
Ooh, okay.
Especially for a certificate.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's probably why I went ahead. And there are options for RNs anyway. To go back to school, they will pay your tuition as long as you keep getting a certain grade level. And they will keep on paying it, and you don't have to pay anything. And if you go and work in a certain hospital setting, they'll pay any tuition that you may have incurred during your education. And that's what I used. Because I'm like, I'm the oldest of 10 kids, and I'm like, I can't do this.
Right.
My parents can't afford it, and I have to work too. Mm-hmm. So it's like the school, people have now grants. They're having student loans or stuff that's gone. Mm-hmm. back then it was like you had a way of working around it if you really, really wanted to.
Right.
And you can have it. Even the jobs will pay for you to go to school.
Right.
The hospitals anyway,
Mm-hmm.
because they want to maintain your educational level, so they'll pay for you to take nursing classes.
Wow.
Yes.
I needed that.
Yes, yes. Okay. Now you didn't have any problems working and going to school, or did you not?
I didn't work.
Okay.
I knew that I had to dedicate all my time.
Okay.
So my kids were older
Okay.
this time around, so it helped out a lot. My husband supported. My son and daughter, they supported because now they're like in their 20s. They have jobs, so
Okay.
they, they didn't move out. They said,
Okay.
we're going to stay home. We're going to help out. And
Okay.
so, yeah, I feel like working, it just wasn't for me to work and study because it's too much.
Okay.
So yeah, this time around it didn't work.
Okay. But the first time you went through?
Yeah, the first time it was hard. I was, went to sleep studying or doing an exam. I was so tired, I couldn't focus.
Okay.
So yeah, it just, working for me did not help.
Okay. So because there are the options out there, you were able to take that and go for it.
Yes.
As far as, that's good. So you don't have any, student loans due for you.
I do have past student loans, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But awesome. Awesome. I thank you because there was one other thing too about these clinicals. I know I'm into this nursing, so y'all forgive me. But these clinicals, because of this new thing that do you have clinicals in the sense of labs and things like that?
Oh yeah, we have labs at the school, and then you go to the clinicals. You learn how to pass meds. You know how to chart.
Okay.
You know how to give insulin.
Okay.
So you know how to take care of the patient.
Okay.
Ask them questions.
Okay.
So yeah, the clinicals I think helped out a lot.
Okay. Because we're faced with religion, would you recommend this to anyone who is in your church to go into the medical field?
Yeah, I mean, if there's something you want to do, yes.
Okay.
I mean, there's so many. I had a couple of students in the class, they never even thought about going into the nursing field.
Okay.
But they seemed like it was just something for them to do.
Okay.
Maybe. Some people went for second careers because the first career wasn't, didn't help them out any.
Okay.
So, yeah, I feel like I would recommend nursing to, anyone if you love it, if you love helping people.
And that was one of the criteria, wasn't it? She said that you loved helping people.
Oh, yes.
And a lot of people are going into nursing just because it's the monies.
Oh, no, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I care. I have a mother.
And see, that's the part that I really, sorry about this one, because most people who are in the medical field have to understand or realize that they're treating someone else's relative. Mm-hmm. And you would want your relative to be treated by someone who is caring. So it's like you're putting yourself in that position.
Right.
Am I caring for someone's grandmother? Would I do to them what I'm doing to them? Would I want someone else to hit on I wouldn't want anyone else to hit on my grandmother or my mother or my husband or my, not even me, okay? Right. So it's like we have to understand that nursing is not a field that just people go into for money.
Right.
It's a caring profession.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't realize that because I've seen a lot of medical professionals who have attitudes of not taking care of the people.
Yes.
So, amen. Okay. Okay. What else do we have to say? I'm going to ask you one more thing. Would you do this all over again? And how would you do it?
I think I would do it all over again.
Okay.
But I feel like maybe, I think I would probably go straight into the RN program.
Okay.
Knowing what I know now.
Okay.
But, things happen.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad that you waited until afterwards. A lot of people think that because they're older that they can't make it in the school system now, but a lot of people forget they've got life experiences that help them make those choices, those pass those NCLEX, because they've got experiences. So you would also suggest people go and get that experience by working in a hospital per se?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I think you'll just know more. I think you'll be prepared more, even for the exams.
Okay.
And you won't be as shocked. You won't be as scared when you go for your clinicals.
Okay.
You know. So yeah, definitely. I'm glad that I worked in a hospital for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and gained that experience.
Okay. Okay. I am so glad. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
It's a lot. And I think because we there are so many programs, like I said, that you could have went through. And we're tooting the horn for, what's the name of that school?
Apcot Institute.
Apcot. And where is that located?
It's in Southfield.
Okay.
I think it's not too far from here, pretty much, yes.
Apcot Institute. And they're open for, when do they have classes starting?
I think like maybe every month or so, I want to say.
Wow.
I don't want to like say that's what it is, but if you go online and, look it up and do your research and see if this is the right school for you.
Okay. And I like the fact that it's, like you said, it's only, what, 1 year?
It's only 1 year, yes.
1 year. And you can finish that 1 year, and then you can go and work in the field and earn more money.
That's right.
And then decide, okay, now it's time for me to step up a little bit more. Amen.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. And I think that Apcot did a good job. Now I'm going to suggest you go on because you would seem like you're a very caring person. And that would make it even more, because we need that kind of person in the profession.
Yes.
Someone who's caring, who is nurturing. And for you to want to work with the elderly, that's an awesome thing, because that's an up and coming, part of the medical field, because we have a lot more elderly people now than we did before. And we need a lot more people who are not as harsh. What do they call it? It's come on, you gotta give me a word. Octogenarian. We got more people who are in their 80s now who need to get taken care of.
Right.
And it's not that they just want to be in a nursing facility. They didn't want to be at home. They want to be able to take care of themselves. And you said something earlier about being in ICU.
Yes.
Can you repeat that for me?
As far as
how it made you feel when a person came in one way.
Oh, yes. So they come in, they have all these tubes, they're not moving. And I asked one of the nurses, well, how do you like working, in the ICU? And she's like, well, I like it when they, they come in, they're just all messed up. But she said the best thing that she likes about it is when they leave and they're alive and they're well. Yes.
And that's what we're all about in the medical field. You're making someone's life better.
Yes.
You're making them better. I thank you for tuning in. Your name again?
Shatira Crawford.
Shatira Crawford. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us here at the Total You. We welcome you back. I hope you took something home with you, just so you can improve on you. You don't have to stay at home. All right?
Yes.
You can do something more for you to improve your life also by becoming a nurse. And like she said, it's only 1 year. So I thank you for tuning in. I love you all. And until next time, God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.